Greetings, this is Griff Ruby, the Nostalgia Catholic, with another Isaac Asimov short story. This one is very short and has rather unusual history. It is part of something called the Drabble Project. Now, there's not much to say about Drabble, but there's a couple very brief descriptions of what this is about and what these are. So, on the first page, it says, Introduction. The Drabble project began in February 1985. Drabble was a game played for many years by the Birmingham University Science Fiction Society. In the game, a small group of people sat with pen and paper and wrote stories precisely 100 words long. The finished stories were circulated and discussed by all participants. This Drabble project book contains 100-word stories and brings together the work of these people, other amateur authors and professional authors who took part in our game, giving their time freely. We hope you enjoy it and take up the challenge yourselves. So, one more thing. Introduction. Drabble is played by sitting around a fire while sipping brandy and partaking of pleasant conversation with friends. The first person to finish a novel wins. A doubtful history. The first game of Drabble, a name coined in a Monty Python sketch, was played at the beginning of the last century. The winner was Mary Shelley with Frankenstein, and Polidori, who didn't actually finish during that stormy weekend, came second with The Vampire. The rules. 100 words. Must be exactly 100 words. Not a syllable more, not a letter less. In addition, up to 15 words, title, subtitle, and the like are allowed. Hyphenated words are argued about. The end. There's a little bit under the flyleaf here. She, Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, met them, the Monty Python team. She said to them, "Let's all write a novel." They said to her, "Good idea, but let's keep it down to 100 words." The consequence was this book of 100 short stories of exactly 100 words each. The authors range in age from 12 to 70 and more, and include established names from Britain, America, and elsewhere, together with authors whose first published stories are printed here. To give the reader some idea of the strictures involved in this form of writing, this piece is exactly pretty much what I just read. So, it's got all these lists of authors. And needless to say, one of the contributions fairly early in all of this is something called The Turning Point by Isaac Asimov. So, page 16. Since this is 100 words, this is a shorter story and easier to just read than review. A reasonable excerpt from most kind of stories would be longer than this entire story. Furthermore, this is a rarity. Also, it was given freely, and I don't see, where anyone would have a claim to it unless maybe the Drabble Project does this from a copyright standpoint. I'm hoping all of this is correct. Again, should this prove to be mistaken, I will just have to make a different version of this video that summarizes the story if I can. And now we begin. Start counting words. Madison had a time machine and knew the turning point. He was 12 when he had been beaten down by that easy question on the test. He did not go on to college and a career as a brilliant physicist. He was a clerk. He went back in time, met his younger self that morning, and, in conversation, stressed what would be the correct answer. He moved forward a day and found he had ended with a perfect paper. He went back to his present and was still a clerk. There was no difference. There had been no turning point. Did you count them? 100 words. So, but it's a cute little story. He does this thing. He goes back in time. He says, "Oh, my whole life would have been different." No, it wouldn't. So that's kind of an interesting point. So I like that. It's a very interesting little story. I think it's worthy of being saved, rescued, preserved, shared, whatever. And it was kind of some fun being able to track it down by getting this book. This is the only place the story has ever seen the light of day. Other than now I'm reading it, assuming I don't get get it removed. All right. Well, hoping this can stand. Thanks for listening.